YouTube, what, say what? Hey, it's Big Tim 208. It is about that time to set up the new hot tub. So here we are. It is late summer. We are in August of 2025, and we just purchased this SaluSpa Malibu from Fred Meyer. Cost us $359.99 plus tax. My wife actually works there, so we got a better deal than that, but that's what you can buy it for right now. The first steps for the instructions here say don't use a knife. So we've got a trusty flat-headed screwdriver here. We've already gone ahead and opened that up. So a couple things I want to point out real quick with this quick unboxing and setup instruction video. They have now included what's supposed to come in the box here, and here, if you need it, are some cutout instructions that basically tell you, what to do step by step. This video should be helpful with that process because we're also going to do that. Through the magic of YouTube, we're going to go ahead and open these boxes up, and we'll be right back with you. And just like that, we've got this wonderful first box open. One thing I wanted to point out to you was just kind of some things that are in this box. Number one, see if there's anything up top here. Nothing. Number two, what do we got down here? It's kind of hard to do one-handed there, YouTube. Let's see if the wife will contribute in opening that. Looks like mostly just a cord. We're going to use some magic YouTube here. Okay, we're done. So we flipped it over. And these are parts of the hot tub you're going to need. This is part of that blower kit. So we'll talk about that here in a couple minutes, and I'll explain what these parts actually do and how they function. But it's all part of this blower kit. Your blower here is what actually pumps the hot tub up, and also what controls the heat element of the hot tub and creates the bubbles inside. So it's kind of your all-in-one unit, as it were. Hang on to those, babe. Let's get this cord out of here. So now that we know what else is in this box here, you have your actual unit. Go ahead and take that out. This is a two-handed jobby, so I'm going to use the magic YouTube. One thing you'll notice at the bottom of the box is the filter housing. So the filter housing actually is stored underneath this unit in that box. You also have this hose. Sorry there, YouTube. Boy, I am just jungling today. You've got this hose right here. Forgive me, all these imperfections go into my videos because I'm just a regular guy doing videos for people to be helpful. And this is something I don't use. It's called Chem Connect. So this is actually for like the pellet style of chemicals. You can load that in and then let the pool or hot tub do its own thing. I don't use it. I use chemicals that are powder based. It's just what I prefer. If you prefer to use the Chem Connect, you go right ahead and do that. Real quick, that is actually the blow up part of the lid, and I believe this is the actual hot tub itself. We'll determine that here shortly. Correction, that is for the lid of the hot tub. That is also part of the lid. So lid of the hot tub, the actual full body of the hot tub right here. And as you can tell, it's wrapped in a whole lot of plastic and tape. This is where that screwdriver will come in handy. So we're going to go ahead and either tear this apart, get the screwdriver, and we'll show you the next part. Okay, YouTube, at this point, the orientation of which you set your hot tub up is going to be very important. Because you're going to be using that tube there with that part of the blower motor to actually fill this up. So you're going to want to make sure that you're in the right positions for that. I will use the magic YouTube as my dog barks in the background to get that part set up. Okay, YouTube, you remember that little bag of parts and pieces? Well, we've went ahead and opened that up, and I'll explain why. So this is, I think, a little different than the SaluSpa Hollywood. This actually opens up. I'll show you this real quick here. And this little guy right there plugs into that. And this little valve opens up to allow you to fill the hot tub, but also, when it's full, allows you to actually remove this little guy from your tube to keep it from the air escaping, but also to allow you to put this cap back on so that the air doesn't escape the hot tub. Kind of a cool, new, interesting design. So this little guy clearly is going to go right here. What we've also done is we've removed all of the plastics from these tubes. And I'll explain what those are for here in just a couple minutes. What we're going to do next is we're going to attach this to our hose here to actually fill this thing up. So that, you saw how that part popped off? It's got these little grooves there. So you want to make sure you align those grooves and then turn it so that it locks into place. So once you've got those grooves aligned and you've turned it, that makes sure that the hose, that adapter piece is locked in, okay? A little hard to do one-handed, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, make sure that, oh, did it one-handed. Loosened it one-handed. Went the wrong direction. We'll get it tightened, and then we'll get the next piece, which is this guy, connected to this guy here, which is super easy to do. So YouTube, we've got that piece now locked in. All you have to do is twist it. And we're going to connect this piece to the bottom there. Let's have the wife hold the phone and do the recording while we do that. Move this filter housing. And we're just going to simply screw ourselves, this piece on. Okay, you'll notice that you can't mess this part up too much because there are holes built into this. So if you try to overflate, you're not going to be able to. You just won't be able to do it. It's telling you, hey, don't cover those holes up because that's what keeps you from overinflating your hot tub. Next step is going to be to insert this little guy into this little guy. Make sure it's tight. So I'm just going to twist it with that little tool in there. And that's in there. Next, we're going to undo our cord. These little metal guys. Forgive me, YouTube, it is very warm in Idaho today. And we had a rainstorm last night, so it's also humid. So I'm sweating a bit, just as what it is. This is a GFI. And tells you to test it, which we will do. Seems to be working. We have power on our machine. Come on over here. You have to press and hold to actually turn things on. So that's power. Now air. Go ahead and remove this. This will be annoying. We're now filling the hot tub. You can actually see air is going into the hot tub now. This part takes probably about 5 minutes. We'll use the magic YouTube and come back to you here shortly. Just a quick status update. We are about a minute and a half into the process, and you can see it's starting to take shape right now, so I wanted to share that with you. We'll get to what's going to happen after it's taken shape and how we're going to rearrange this hot tub and that little machine there. What, say what? Be right back. So YouTube, we're starting to look more like a hot tub. The cool thing is you can't accidentally overinflate this. One thing to note, and this is just from my personal experience as time has gone on, is when this hot tub feels like it's semi-firm like this, when you add water, it's going to be firmer. So don't be worried about that. Also, it's very important to have your water levels in between that minimum and maximum number. Or minimum maximum lines, not really a number. Your air bubbles in this hot tub are going to come from down here in this ridge. That's where they're actually going to come up from. This little guy can be removed. When you're filling the hot tub, you want to remove this. These two, the top one, is for that Chem Connect. You actually have to pull that off. Let me explain how that works. So this would be for the Chem Connect, and I dropped it. Real life, YouTube, real life. We're going to go ahead and kill this. Just turn that off right now. And pull that guy out. See how it stopped that air from flowing? It's pretty cool, huh? Then just put that cap on. Hand tight is more than good enough. Okay. This is for the Chem Connect. I don't use Chem Connect, so I don't really care I'm going to put it back on because it's part of the hot tub. I'm not going to put that rubber piece back on it because it doesn't really matter. But that's for the chemical connect. But we don't care about the chem connect. This one, down here, that's for your filter housing. So you don't need these guys on. Make sure you take them off. Also, this is for draining the hot tub. It's a pretty cool idea to try to make sure that your drain, this is your drain, is easily shown, and you know, you can hook a hose up to it so that the water can flow out of it if you need to. So for us, we're going to be putting our box over here, and we're going to hook these hoses up here in just a little bit. I'll show you how that works too. And we're going to get that process started right now. So I'm going to hand this back over to the wife. Then we'll explain how do you do the lid. Actually, we'll do the lid first. Because come to think about it, while you're filling up things with air, the lid needs to be filled with air. And temporarily, we'll just store it like inside of the hot tub. I've got tons of videos of this stuff. If you guys haven't already seen my channel, Big Tim 208, please like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my other videos too, because I've done some of the SaluSpa Hollywood. Done a lot of separate videos where, you know, I wasn't doing it all at once like we're kind of doing here today. So this guy, again, just kind of plugs in there. Come back over to your machine, hit your bubbles button, and just start to blow up this lid. Again, can't really mess this up. Can't overdo it. The other thing that a lot of other hot tubs don't have that I really like about the SaluSpas is the air that's coming out of this machine is actually warm. So I can actually feel that it's warm to the touch on the hose. That's because the heating box actually heats that air up before it goes into the hot tub. That's what allows you to not have so much heat loss during the time that you're using your bubbles. Okay, that's pretty cool. Pop that little guy off. It's got a little retention. If you look in here, guys, there's a little retention lip in there, so you're not going to lose a ton of air if you pull that little guy off. Not a big deal. Okay. And just push that in. Make sure it's all the way in. You'll notice that's got a 2 on it, and that's got nothing on it. All that's telling you is that this is part 2 of that lid that's down there at the bottom. It needs to be taken out of that packaging. I'll explain how that works here shortly as well. We're going to go ahead and store this in here for the time being. We are going to now take off our hose. Go ahead and make sure that stays on. Don't lose that part. You might need it someday. Hang on to this. Always just kind of wrap it around itself. Put it someplace where you know you'll find it. That's good enough for me. Right over here, we take our box, we're going to stretch this out. We're going to move our hot tub a little bit because we want orientation. Yeah, basically like that. And you're going to take these guys and you're going to tighten them up just like so. I always like to do the top one first. Make sure you take this little black guy off. That little guy right there. You don't need him. You can throw him away. And then this little guy right here. Oops. Hidden buttons. Let's make sure we don't do that. There we go. Let's close that down. That beeping is an EO2 error. If you don't know what that is, it's because I accidentally touched the heating element without any water in the machine. So you might get that. So, again, hand tight Good enough. Don't get too crazy with this stuff. But you also want to make sure you're not too loose. You don't want to spring any leaks, etc., etc. Okay, we're going to move this back over there, about there. We'll move that mop here a little bit. We're going to reset the breaker. Kill that EO2 message. There we go. Okay. Your next step at this point would be to take this lid back out for the moment. Grab the second part of your lid. This part, use a knife. This is what keeps your heat in your hot tub, which is very, very important in the wintertime. Especially if you don't have a covered patio. We have a covered patio. Thankfully, we don't have to worry as much about that. This looks like and functions a lot like a giant shower cap. What do I mean by that? You take this guy, I usually put him in kind of like so. Give them a quick view of that. It's helpful if you have a two-person jobby. And you just make sure it's snugged in there. Then, when you're ready to, you no longer use the hot tub for the day, kind of throw it on top. And then you'll have these clips. Show them the clips on your side. There's water in here, it'll hold itself up better. But you use these little clips right here, which are now covered with plastic and a rubber band. Bubble wrap. Satisfying little pops. That little clip goes into one of these little guys right here and keeps your lid in place in the wintertime. And you unclip it, and it's good to go. Keeps little kids out of there too. So, let's talk briefly about this. This is your filter holder. Didn't notice it came with any filter. Ah, but look, there it is. It's a size 4, VI 4. Okay? You put your little cap back on here. So you need to make sure that goes on. Cap back on, like so. Tighten, 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 tighten. Okay. Then this guy, don't worry, you're going to have this little lip here. This is normal. It doesn't have to be so tight that you're like, that lip shouldn't be there. It's normal. Okay. Take this guy and you twist him on. I'm going to the right even though I'm using my left hand. And that's how that guy stays on, okay? Water's going to go in there. It's going to come back out this guy, which is what the Chem Connect would be. But that's where your water comes out. This is just like an air tube, just like air. It's for airflow. That's all it's for, okay? Next, we're going to take our lid. We find it at home temporarily. It's going to be up against this wall, like so. Put it somewhere where you know it's not going to get popped. And we are on the final step of this journey. We're going to, one, move this final little piece of plastic. We're going to take our hose and we are now going to add, I think it's about, I'm going off memory here, I want to say it's about 200 gallons. About 200 gallons worth of water, give or take. hose. Water. At this point, you're basically going to fill your hot tub. Okay? You're going to leave your box over there off. The box. The actual machine. You're going to leave that off while you're filling the tube. Okay? While you're filling the tub. At some point, you're going to have chemicals, which I don't know where you put them at. Where do you put the chemicals? You can talk. People can hear you. They're inside the house. She's going to grab the chemicals. I'll show you what you do with the chemicals briefly here. I'm not going to give you a real long explanation on what to do with hot tub chemicals. This is pH down. You probably won't have to use a whole lot of pH down. You may in some areas, but where I'm located in Idaho, our water is pretty damn clean. So all I need for my hot tub is some pH down and some shock. Okay? All-in-one sanitizer and shock. Here's the deal. It has instructions on here. It tells you how much to use. For a hot tub this size, a tablespoon for each person after each visit in the hot tub. We'll keep your tub pretty dang clean. Make sure you're using some test strips, something like this, to make sure there's not too much chlorine in there. I usually put a little bit, probably 1 teaspoon in before I jump in, and then retest. Just make sure it's good to go. But about two teaspoons or so. Sorry, did I say tablespoons? I meant teaspoons. 2 teaspoons after each person visiting the hot tub should keep your hot tub pretty free and clear of, bad things, right? Bad things are, germs and stuff. Whatever. Do I recommend the scum bugs? Sure. Get yourself a scum bug. We'll probably order one. Maybe we won't. Your local hot tub store can also test your water if you're unsure about what chemicals you should be using. So take a cup of your water down to your local hot tub store. They'll test it for free. They'll tell you what your hot tub needs. Chemical wise, you might be different than me. All I need is pH down and chlorine. That's it. That's all I need. If you want bromine because you're allergic to chlorine, go ahead and do that. I've heard of some natural stuff, blah, 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 whatever you want to use. Who cares? That is the long and the short of the SaluSpa Miami hot tub video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Forgive my humanness of the video where I made mistakes, because I'm just a regular guy having fun doing YouTube videos. What, say what. Thanks for watching. Sorry, YouTube, I'm not quite done. I added this part to the video afterthought. After this is done, you need to go over to your machine here, turn it on. You got to press and hold your finger on it. That actually turns it on, okay? And then you got to go over here to your little heat element. You got to choose your Fahrenheit. I like Fahrenheit better than I do Celsius. That's just my preference. But you got to turn it on here. I leave mine on 24/7. Somebody asked me that question once upon a time, and I completely forgot to mention it during this video. The other thing is, it takes probably a good 2 or 3 days before this thing is fully at 104. And you can see it's telling me right now it's 82 degrees. That's what it's saying the temperature is. That's clearly not the temperature of the water. That's the temperature outside right now. So it will, it'll probably be in the 50 or 60 range. It'll get about 2 degrees an hour. So I would say probably sometime Tuesday or Wednesday, this thing will be ready to go. I'll do another short video kind of showcasing that it's ready to go, what the temperature is, and I'll show you how to add those chemicals like we talked about. You can also watch some of my other videos where I've done them in the past. The SaluSpa Hollywood, where I've added chemicals in those videos and kind of give you ideas of what you should or shouldn't be using, and recommend again that you take it to a local hot tub professional for testing your water, that is. Thanks for watching. This time it's for real. What, say what? YouTube, what, say what? Hey, it's Big Tim 208. We have finally got the hot tub all full of water. Our temperature right now is at 72 degrees. Not much of a change from where we were at before. It actually got colder than where we were at before. We are going to take some spa shock here. This is the initial treatment, so I am going to go with 2 tablespoons, right about there. Can you see that, YouTube? 2 tablespoons. And we're just going to do this right in the old hot tub. So that's going to dissolve and treat the water, get it started with the chemical process. And then, like I said, after each visit, we're going to put in about 1 tablespoon per visit in the hot tub for each person, give or take. You could do, 1 teaspoon per visit. We're going to do 1 tablespoon for 2 people who visit, give or take. So after you've done that, before you go in for the first time, you'll want to use these test strips. I'm going to go ahead and open this up so you can get an idea of what they kind of look like. It's pointless to do a test now just because this is so new, and we already know the chlorine is still sitting at the bottom there because the hot tub's not hot yet, but it's going to get mixed in eventually. So real quick, when you're looking at these, you'll kind of test, and it'll tell you here you got total bromine or chlorine, total alkalinity, pH, and then hardness, right? So you'll just use one of these little guys here. They look kind of like this. They have these different colors to them. And you'll match the colors with whatever's going on here, right? So you match your colors there, and it tells you right now everything's just set to 0. But if you were to test and say you had, 250 of your total hardness, then you might want to add some water softener to it. I think you can do different things for water softening, salt, and that kind of stuff. I don't know, there's some other treatments you can do, but hardness I don't care that much about. What I do care about for me personally is pH and alkalinity, and then chlorine. I want to make sure there's chlorine and it's in the ideal area. I want to make sure that everything here is in that ideal area or okay. High means you don't want to get into the hot tub, and you just need to let it, over time. You either need to add more chemicals or make a change. So or wait. If it's chlorine, you can wait, and that chlorine will just basically get eaten up over time by the hot tub or the water that's in there. So that's a quick summary of what to do in these test strips that are available. We got these at Fred Meyer. They're probably available at a number of different places, but these are just the Clorox brand ones. That's just what happened to be available at the time. I in no way endorse or sponsor Clorox unless they want to endorse or sponsor me. Also the same thing for the hot tub. The SaluSpa Best Way Hollywood and the SaluSpa Best Way Malibu. What is this? Miami. Excuse me, Miami. Damn, I can't speak today. I know we endorse any of those. I don't work for those companies, but if they want to pay me for doing their reviews, they can certainly do that. I would be more than happy to take their money. Or free products if they got them. We are going to recycle or burn those boxes. That's all she wrote. We're going to get our hot tub cover and cover this thing up and let it warm up over the next couple days. And we'll do another video when we take our first dip. Thanks for watching. What? Say what?